We're speaking to Maria Brattemark from the European Commission again. This time we're going to go into a little bit more detail and depth. Can you tell us about the directives, the WFD and the Floods Directive? Our understanding is that they are among the most comprehensive and progressive directives ever to emanate from the Commission in terms of sustainability and environmental issues and so on.
Yes, both directives really aim at striking the right balance between environmental protection of our watercourses, our coastal areas, and economic development. And so it really is the foundation for both of these directives are really sustainable development. The Floods Directive looks at potential adverse consequences for population, for economic activity, but also for the environment and for cultural heritage. And at the same time, to link this with, as I said, environmental protection. Yeah.
Where do we stand currently in terms of the progress in implementation of the WFD?
Well, the Water Framework Directive, we are now really at a very crucial moment because the big first river basin management plans are due to be finalised at the end of 2009. So this is really a major step towards the integrated river basin management that the directive requires. So it's now at this stage in time it's not possible to say how close are we to the targets, because we will have to see what's in the plans, but we know we're really on the threshold of this important.
How do the two directives relate to each other? How do they correspond? Where, if at all, do they overlap? We've heard some people describe the Floods Directive as a daughter directive of the WFD. How would you describe the two?
They're sister directives. They're sister directives in the sense that they are two independent pieces of legislation, but they are to be implemented in a coordinated manner. And that is coordination really from the first risk assessments or from the maps, but also in terms of the plans, and they are to be synchronized. So when one of the planning flood risk management plans need to be valid for the same period of time and prepared in the same way as for the river basin management plans. And there's also needs to be a coordination in that very important public participation and involvement of the interested parties.
So these sister directives, what are the challenges ahead in the coming years? How do you expect things to pan out as their implementation becomes more and more, moves along?
I think some of the challenges really are to set the priorities in time. We understand that there will be a lot of member states who will use the possibilities for a time derogation for the Water Framework Directive, and as we've heard today, also for flood risk management, prioritisation in time when different measures will be taken, not just where and which measures, will be very crucial. And I think that's one of the big challenges, just to make sure that this the optimal time schedule is chosen. And of course we hope that we will see the results as quickly as possible, that we will have good ecological status or good chemical status or significantly reduced flood risk as early as possible.
Finally, can we ask, we have these two pieces of legislation in the EU, and I think it's fair to say that the EWA has been instrumental in their framing and their implementation. How are we doing globally? How does the EU's progress on these issues compare to other parts of the world?
I think the idea of integrated river management is not uniquely European as such. But what we do have in Europe is that we now have some pieces of legislation that actually puts the requirement on the member states to coordinate across national boundaries. And I think that is a very important, just that legal structure is very important, because we also have an opportunity to for legal enforcement if we see that there is just failure of this coordination. But I'm hopeful. I think this is going to be very see this in a positive way.
Maria Brattemark from the European Commission, thank you so much.
Thank you.